Okay, and I'd like to record that Mary Navas, board member, is present. Gershom Therese is present. Larry Valabi is present. And Michael Jones is present.
So noted.
We are missing Livia Madrigal, Javier Gonzalez, and Dr. Roberto Portillo. On the school, we have head of school Josh Ripp and Mike Rich. Good to see you, Mr. Rich. Oh, there's Dr. Portillo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hey, Berta. And we have Paul Corey with us. So we have some guests, it looks like. Mr. Ken Park, you're DMS. Never mind. Mr. School Scout, do you want to identify yourself? Not hearing that. How about Dr. Mansfield? Okay. Well, welcome to both of you. And we will, that takes care of the guests and attendees. Any comments or questions regarding the agenda? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Mary. And Gershom, I'm going to say you seconded that. And now is an opportunity for public comment. If there's anybody who would like to make public comment on anything that is not on tonight's agenda.
You just have to make a roll call for the agenda approval. Mr. Stephen Henderson.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to expedite a little bit and say all those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anybody opposed? None, so the vote was unanimous. Thank you, Mary, for catching that before I got too much further along. Again, public comment, anybody that wants to make any comments on something that's not on the agenda? Not hearing anything, we will proceed with reports. SEBA activities and culture.
We're hosting a Dia de los Muertos event right now, and they are actually involved with that. So I'm going to suggest that we postpone that. And I do talk about activities and culture in my head of school report. But if it's okay with you, Michael, maybe we could move on to the DMS monthly update.
Sounds great. Paul Corey.
Wow, thank you. I get to go early, huh? Yeah, very special. Appreciate that. I will share my screen, or Josh, you want me to put it up?
I can share. I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we're here, Ken and I are here to present the actuals versus the original board approved budget, actuals through September 30th, 2022. So we'll look at real quickly the summarized budget versus actuals, just to highlight a few things. Again, 25% of the year has passed. Revenues are always very light early on, just a feature of the SCDE. I sound like a broken record. I've said that many times, but just I keep reminding. And overall expenditures look like, total expenditures are at 25% right in line with the budget. We noted certificated salaries were trending just a tad bit higher, a point or two. We'll get into that. We're right around the corner from the first interim. And I think when we passed the original budget, the state budget wasn't approved yet, and there were additional COLAs added. So we'll get into that at the next board meeting when we bring to you the first interim. We'll be meeting with Josh weekly to work on a budget revision, updating all the revenues, including some of the additional revenue streams that will be coming this year. There's two big discretionary block grants in particular, arts and music and instructional materials and learning recovery. But overall, everything else there is in line. In the more detailed section, it highlights any particular areas that might look at a whack. There's nothing here, even materials and supplies, which we usually expect to be front loaded to some degree, appear to be light. So overall, again, early in the year, first interim will be October actuals, but not much else to report. If we can go down to the cash flow, I think that's really the one area that it's always good to show just how good things are. So the green columns are our actuals. You know, as we started the year with $3 million at the beginning of July. Currently, as of September 30th, we have $2,783,000 in the bank. That's 140 days of cash on hand. There's still $500,000 in AR left to be collected. And one thing I noticed with your county is they're a bit slow. If you look at the very top LCFF line under revenues, LCFF state aid, that 170,000 is really your July LCFF. Most schools receive that late July or early August. I've noticed this county for some reason just is a couple weeks behind. Nothing, I mean, Saba has plenty of cash on hand. I just point that out. So overall, it doesn't affect you guys. We also look for the trends, and this is where we saw that certificated salaries were just running a little higher. But when we come back with first interim, that will all fit into place, and you're going to see a significant increase in revenues as well. So it's all going to fit together quite nicely. Last page will be the balance sheet. And just was looking at some of the basic metrics that finance people would look at, you know, your cash versus your liabilities. I think you have 15 times the amount of cash as you do current liabilities. You know, most corporations would be envious of your position. So again, pretty easy presentation. There's not much to point out right now. There will be more information coming at the next board meeting in our first major budget revision of the year. Are there any questions?
Just a quick one, if you don't mind. It's not a question, it's just an observation.
Sure.
So on your federal revenue, you are 1,821%. This is on your budget to actuals.
Okay.
And I know you just got, it's prior year revenue. So you get federal revenue that you got in.
So yeah, so that's a good point. So that is really, we had prior year revenue of
Next one down.
$283. I'm not sure why, but sometimes we get in revenues that we weren't expecting that weren't properly accrued at year end, in which case they hit.
Okay, and that's what I figured it was.
Yeah, the main revenue line is the one right above it. That's where all your CARES Act and Title I money will be coming in. That's really the line to look at. $5,000. I mean, 180% or whatever looks, was it 1,000% looks really high, but you're talking $283
Right.
in the budget versus
Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah,
It's
percentage
rare, but
looks a lot more material than the dollar does.
we typically will get, you know, a few dollars here and there that were not accrued, and they're always immaterial. So
And then the local revenue, it looks like you got maybe revenue you didn't expect.
I'd have to look into that. I don't know. Ken, do you know if the PDUSD settlement comes in payments, or is that 8699 number?
It's local.
That's trying to see. I can look it up.
Yeah,
real quick.
I'll have to look.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we can figure out what that is for you.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It's not really a big deal, especially given your cash. Save us
Yeah,
gas.
no, you got ASB funds, $43,000 in July.
Hmm.
It was a big chunk. Looks like it came from City of Watsonville uniforms. There was a 941 tax overpayment and
Okay.
a COVID rebate from your insurance carrier. So
Okay.
variety of
Bunch
things
different
that-
things. Okay.
yeah, and probably those are the kinds of things you don't always know when you're doing a budget.
Can't
So,
budget for those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. Totally get it.
okay, well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
No, my pleasure.
Any other questions for Paul or Ken?
Nope.
Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Ken.
Yes. Thank you both.
My
See you
pleasure. You guys have a
next
good night.
month.
Thank you.
You as
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
Moving ahead on the agenda, we go to the head of school report.
Okay. So mine's also a quick one here. I'll share my screen again. Okay, so I just wanted to give you an update. 2 Fridays ago, we had our Halloween school spirit rally where we had all of our students in the auditorium. First, the middle school came through and then the high school came through, and they participated in different activities to get ready for our Halloween Spirit Week. There you got we played some ball activities, but it was great. We often have great success with our middle schoolers and sometimes have struggle to get the high schoolers engaged, but I felt like this time around, the high schoolers also got engaged with the activities. So big shout out to Nathan Winchell, our director of student culture, and Clarissa Rubalcava, who were charged with kind of organizing the event, but it went really well. So I wanted to give you an update about that. Then this past Friday, we had our annual Halloween Carnival and Haunted House. So we had the carnival out on the turf, and we raised over $2,000 from the event, which was a significant sum. The haunted house ran around the first floor, and then it was the entire second floor, and students could pay, buy tickets to go in as many times as they would like. And then we finished the night out with a dance in the cafeteria. So it was a lot of fun. They made cotton candy. They did kind of typical carnival type games like ring toss and whatnot. And everybody was dressed up in the haunted house. So good times were had by all. Tonight we have Dia de los Muertos. It's going on downstairs. That's why the activities group is not here right now. I think they're going to actually come up in 10 minutes, but it's all right. So we're also had a great turnout for this. We have an altar on the stage, and then there is a variety of clubs selling food, and then they're doing cookie decorating, calaveras, coloring. Oh yeah, you got it right here. Mini piñatas, face painting, and loteria. So this is running from 4:30 till 6:45 this evening. So we've got lots of parents and students in the building right now, which is great. And then a sports update, our cross country team won, they were the division champs, and one of our cross country runners, Flor Zepeda, placed 7th, along with Ana Juarez, who placed 6th. And then Anthony was our top male runner, who also placed 6th. So we're really proud of the cross country runners. We put this out on our in our newsletter and on our Instagram feed. And then just so you know, we also had we've wrapped up our first middle school sports season that ran from September 22nd to October 13th. We had girls basketball and boys soccer during that time. They did really well. And now we're starting our second season, which is girls soccer and boys basketball. So it kind of flips. But we're using gymnasiums around the community, but it's been a great way to just continue to increase engagement and buy-in amongst the school culture. So everything is going really well there. And that concludes my head of school update. Any questions?
No, looks good.
Looks like fun.
Yeah, it does.
All right. With that, we will now retire to closed session. And Mike, are you going to keep the? So the board has been in closed session, and there are 2 statements I need to make as a result of that closed session. In the student discipline case number 102422022, the board approved the suspended enforcement of the stipulated expulsion order regarding confidential student discipline matter, order number 04202022. The board voted unanimously in favor of this order. The second comment has to do with the other item that we discussed in closed session, which was real property negotiations. And I state that the board did not take action regarding the real property negotiations of 215 Locust Street, Watsonville, California, 95076. So that concludes my statements coming out of closed session. Let's go back to school culture.
All right. So now it's your turn. My name is Oscar, 12th grader, and I'm in ASB.
My name's Ana Juarez, and I'm a junior.
Hello, my name is Diana. I'm a senior, and I'm also an ASB.
We're gonna just talk about the rundown of the events we are having right now and the events we just had. So first, we can talk about the carnival that we had.
The carnival was last Friday. We had a carnival and haunted house. The carnival included of some fun activities for the students. some food. And, we made 2,100 of the carnival and haunted house 1,100.
Us seniors planned the haunted house, which everything went according to our plan, and all the kids went, I think, twice.
Some kids during the haunted house came multiple times, some like twice, 3 times. And then, as she said, everything went according to plan. Nothing really happened. Like everything went smoothly. And then right now we are currently having Dia de los Muertos. And so far everything's going perfectly smooth as we thought it would. And yeah, everything's just been fun enough.
How's the turnout?
The turnout, to be fair, it went over and beyond, like above and beyond,
Even for tonight?
even for tonight. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We see we expected a little bit more of people, but the families that are here, they're having fun. They seem like they're enjoying the food and the activities that we have. So it's kind of fun.
Can you get a little bit closer so we can see your face painting here? Yeah. So.
It was one of the activities to like get the face painted, and so
Nice.
Sana,
Yeah.
do you want to share about your cross country?
and cross country. So this was the first year that the girls had, that there was a team for girls, and I actually got 6th place in our division, which I'm really excited about. And well, the whole team did really good, and we enjoyed the season and everything. So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
All
And
right.
congratulations on your event. Sounds like you guys are doing a great job organizing, and I know your classmates appreciate all your hard work,
Yeah.
as does your head of school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
Great work. Thanks for joining. me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty cool to see every board member with a smile on their face.
Okay, moving right ahead, we have the consent agenda. Are there any questions or anything on the consent agenda that somebody would like to pull off for further discussion? Not hearing anything, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Mary. And a second?
Second.
Okay, I'll second.
Thanks, Larry.
There you go.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And passes unanimously. Consent agenda is approved. Action items, the El Dorado SELPA charters, policies, and procedures. Josh?
Yeah, so our SELPA is El Dorado Charter SELPA. SELPA stands for Special Education Local Planning Area, and we work with them to serve our special education students, our students with disabilities. And we were selected for cyclical monitoring this year because of our lower number of students with special education. We didn't have a statistically significant size, so it's not that we had poor performance indicators with our students that we have as special education students, but they're doing a review of our policies and procedures, and this is the SELPA policies and procedures that I would like the board to approve to keep us in line with what are the updated rules and regulations around special education. As you can see on the document, the last update was October 14th, 2021. So I'm requesting that the SELPA Board of Directors approve the current El Dorado Charter SELPA this evening.
Any questions for Josh regarding the SELPA policies?
This is a new or fairly new SELPA that SEBA has joined. Isn't that correct? You've only been with them for a few years. Is that correct? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're thinking of something else. We've been
Okay.
with them for a long time. Yeah.
You've been, okay.
And they do the SELPA for a lot of charter schools in the region.
Yeah, they do.
And when back, I believe it was 8 years ago that SEBA joined the El Dorado County Charter SELPA. the rules or the policies were adopted then, but since we're going to do the cyclical review, I wanted to bring this back to the board just since they've been revised a number of times since that time.
Oh, I'm thinking of the charter that we approved, our virtual charter. They just joined El Dorado a
Okay.
year or two ago. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Josh, with this SELPA, if there's a student, say that, I know that I'm sure they provide psychologist services and other kinds of psychological support. But when it gets to the area of social emotional issues, do they also provide therapists, clinical therapists?
No, and in fact, they don't provide psychologists either. So they're mostly a group of people that we can communicate with for trainings for the staff or trainings for ourselves, advice on difficult situations, or maybe novel situations that we've not experienced before, how to better meet the needs of our students that we're serving who have who have IEPs. But we actually contract with other service providers for psychological reports, and actually another service provider, a local one, Encompass, for counseling needs if they can't be done on site. So for example, ERMS counseling is completed through Encompass, which is a local organization.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions for Josh? Can I have a motion to approve the El Dorado SELPA charters, policies, and procedures?
So approved. I mean,
Thank you,
so
Larry.
moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. We have a motion and a second, and all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed, so the motion or the approval is unanimous. And that concludes the items on this month's agenda. I'd like to state just for the recording, because I thought I would be able to rename myself. I am not Stephen Henderson. I am Michael Jones, the chair of the board. And I don't know why it won't let me rename myself, but it won't. So for the record, that's who I am. Any items for the next board meeting? Hearing none, I'll leave that up to Josh and Mr. Rich. And we will, well, I guess can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn was unanimous. And thanks to our guests for being with us tonight, and encourage you to share any questions or any information you'd like with either myself or head of school, Mr. Rip.